a great night. We're talking about financial lessons from the Scrooge. That was my song. I don't know if you heard it. I can't play too much of it because of the copyright stuff. That was the Christmas song. My man, Nat King Cole. Let me make sure. I am so tired of me forgetting to turn this thing off. And we're getting the middle of our, or near the end. I had an 8:30 alarm for myself for randomness, not even for this, because I'm going to go as long as I can go. I just have some things that I want to share, some financial lessons from the Scrooge. And don't forget the source of it all, the book, Afro Economics, Our Black Wealth Matters. Make sure that you check it out. Get the book. If you're a member already, you can get the book. Even if you're a free membership level, you can get the book for free. You can download it once you log in as a member. The 10 principles of Afro economics, and some of them are going to come up in tonight's discussion. Indeed, Maurice, it is indeed. And if you're watching this recording, know that the people who are participating in the webinar went to afroeconomics.com, and then they went to events and they registered, so they're able to participate. And I can see Dr. Williams, and I can see Maurice, and I can see Monica, and I can see Ms. Cotman, and I can see Ms. Hargrove. How are y'all doing? Hi, Andrea. How are you, Awa and Barbara? I appreciate you all. And it also gives you instructions so that you can call in. I want to remind you all of March 6th through the 8th, an absolutely free weekend. And it kicks off with a members luncheon on that Friday at high noon. Instead of doing our morning meeting, for members only at high noon, and Saturday all day. Members, you can bring your guests, or guests can come and just take advantage of financial 3 strong days of absolute fun. We're even going to do a Black love discussion on family finances with a panel of couples. If I can get the Williams to come down, I will do it in Virginia, because we're celebrating 25 years of the firm, of serving investors. And we're going to do it where it all started, in Virginia, where God gave me the opportunity to pioneer this idea of J.B. Bryan Financial Group and Afro Economics. So go to the website, click that square, register. We have quite a few. I am amazed at how many people have already registered. I have never seen anything like this happen on the planet. So what we're talking about is creating and doing something that has never happened before, especially when we add on the fact that it's free for us. You know, it's easy for something to charge you. That's easy. But when we make that community commitment through our membership to provide to our community something absolutely free, this is epic, as it would say. It's amazing. So that's because you're the bomb, Ms. Cotman. And I definitely, you talk to your husband, because I want to see you and your husband along with the Williams on that panel for Black love. Yes, indeed. We got to do this thing. And I want to see Monica all the way from Ohio, girlfriend. I want you here. How you doing, Craig? How is Susie Sunshine doing tonight? I'm so glad to see all of you logged in. Let's look at these financial tips from the Scrooge. Now, first of all, when I started thinking about this, you got to know, I have not read the book A Christmas Carol that was written in 1843. That is the basis of it. The book by Charles Dickens. And it was amazing, because when I started researching the topic, like when I thought about this, I just said, this, I don't know. I don't even know why I just said, I want financial lessons from the Scrooge, because there's some lessons there. And then I started looking at it and I saw like different stuff out there about people doing this discussion about the Scrooge. There was even one like talking about business lessons from how he was running his business in the story. So I was like, well, hey, 1843, there was a lot of time for people to have this idea before me. But I must admit, I just came up with the idea and then worked backwards. And then you saw that. So, you know how they say there's nothing new under the sun? That's not really true, because we do have something new. The Scrooge that was created for this is new. I don't know if you all saw the brother, but go to the website and look at my Scrooge. I said, like, I'm gonna, maybe I will even pack it up. Oh, look. Let technology show you that we have our own personal Scrooge. Now I have to figure out how I'm going to share. I'm going to share what most of you all did, but just for the sake of, there are people who did not get to see the invite that I sent out to you all. No, not that one. This one. Look at that. That is our Afro Economics Scrooge created for this event. So don't tell me that there's nothing new under the sun, because there is. I mean, I don't know him personally, but he probably didn't know that he is now the Afro Economic Scrooge to go down in history. So let's make sure, let's look at these notes, because indeed these ideas can go down in history as well. So the story, A Christmas Carol, where Ebenezer Scrooge comes into play, it talks about stinginess and how just he was mean and he wasn't giving and he wasn't understanding. So according to the story or the movies that we've seen, that he has like this really committed employee who was financially poor, but yet had a really loving family. And the employee was kind, and the Scrooge was just mean and not grateful and not appreciative of having this person that was helping him, you know, with the business. And the person was reaching out, and he reached out to the Scrooge and said, you know, come and have dinner, you know, with us, you know. And I guess after he goes through, I don't know the details, but after he goes through these dreams and things, he goes and has dinner with them, and he finds out that they have a son that is like handicapped, has some abilities that are different than ours, and he realizes that his worship of money is not the best thing to do, is not creating a happy life. And when he sees these ghosts that come to him, and he sees that how horrible his life can be if he stays the way he is, he starts changing things. But let's talk about stinginess. Now, the Scrooge is known for stinginess, but being frugal is different than stinginess, and that's what we have to realize. So if someone accuses you during the holidays of being a Scrooge, when that's not true, what you're doing is being frugal, is you have to express to them that frugality is being intelligent and being efficient and wise with how you use your resources. But stinginess is a fear, where frugality is a strategy that you just want to use your money wisely. It's frugality, I would say, is an attribute of someone who thoroughly understands Afroeconomics, right? So, but a stingy person is afraid to share things because they feel like they're going to lose something, or they're not going to be able to ever get that again. So The primary reason, according to psychiatry and psychologists, that a person is stingy is that they're basically insecure about money. So, so a financial insecurity makes it hard for the person to give away something because they don't believe that they actually have it to give. So even if they're, have all of the money needed in their life or for their lifetime, they still feel that they don't have the money. So they don't mean to be, it's more of a psychological problem, the stinginess, where being frugal is I cannot waste my money on this particular decision because, or even though I want to give to this particular cause, I don't have the money. So that's not stingy, that's reality. That's being careful with your resources because come January 1, you still have bills to pay. And then another thing I want us I want to share as I was thinking through this, and thank you those of you who are still logging in as we continue. The I just thought about something. It was like, I want to make sure that I record this, but thanks to YouTube, I also have it recorded as well. But so a major thing about when I think about financial lessons from the Scrooge is that many of the writings or the TV shows or the movies that we see about people that have money, they create them as this stingy person with a psychological problem. So a truly wealthy person, and I would say that the majority of people who have real wealth, like Afro economics wealth, they are generous. In most of our discussions and most of what we do, that as a group and everything, we're constantly doing things to help other people. We are wealthy and we're generous. But what happens is that I think that we have to be careful as we look at these stories and we share these stories with the young people and our children, our grandchildren and things, that you have to be careful what stories you share with them about people with money being these horrible creatures. Because we need to know that financial independence is a goal. So we need to have more stories and more depictions and more illustrations of what truly is happening, is that people who have are the people who help. If you don't have, you can't help. So every day there are people who have and who are helping, giving of their time, giving of their money, giving of their, all of their resources and energy, generously. And they're wealthy, very wealthy people. But mind you, you'll see more often than not illustrations of people with money in books and media, but they're these stingy people. And now we know that stingy is more of a fear. Being wise with your money is a financial strategy. Stingy is not a financial strategy. So when you think about the Scrooge, we need to make sure that is not, that we create in our mind, that we know that is not how wealthy people carry themselves. Because truly wealthy people are living well below or definitely within their means. So they do have the ability to be nice, to be calm, to be relaxed, to be generous, to know the people that are around them, to know the people that work for them, because they are living modestly and they're not stressing out or worried. And they're of good health. The 10th principle of Afro economics, Black health, Black wealth, is keeping your mental health right as well. Not being stingy, not being fearful about money. Because a wise, wealthy person you cannot live in fear. So when I look at my 10 financial tips I want to share, with the 10 financial lessons that we can get from a Scrooge, the Scrooge, or a Scrooge-like person, what are the lessons there? I say one is that we should realize that everyone has a reason for their behavior. So we should think about our habits, especially our financial behavior, and realize that even if, like in the story where this person has a job and the employer is being rude to them, we have to realize that you are not allowed to be a victim. You are not allowed. I'm encouraging you from an Afroeconomics perspective to accept right now that you are not allowed to be a victim. If you're in any situation that is not positive and is not growing you as a person, as an employee, then you're in the wrong situation. It's not the story of the shouldn't be, oh, this person is so mean to me. Imagine if the story was changed around and they told Tiny Tim's dad, well, look, and they came to him and said, why are you being so stupid? Why have you given up on your life? Don't you see what will happen if you continue to allow yourself to be abused? If you continue to be less than you can be, and your son is depending on you to be more than that, imagine how strong that statement would have been. Because according to what I've read, Charles Dickens himself, when he wrote this book in his early 30s and he passed at 58, very short life, that he was broke, in debt, and struggling tragically when he wrote this book. So you have to realize, like, where was his, right? Everyone, first point, everyone has a reason for their behavior. How was his perspective at that particular time? He may have written the book with the victim being the person who's accepting this behavior and not allowing his career to prosper. From that perspective, that that's the beautiful holiday story for the person on top to stay on top, but the person on top to become a better person. That's cool. But how about the person on the bottom becoming a powerful person and showing the person on top how it's really done? And they go out and they start their own firm, and then they show Scrooge, hey, this is how you do it. Look at me, I'm being good to my people. Look at me, my firm is prospering. Look at me, I can do this. I can do this, and my son is fine. And we're doing better, and we can be your friend, and we can be friendly, and we can set that example. So my second point is that the seventh principle of Afroeconomics, entrepreneurship. So when I look at the story, of course, I look at it more from an entrepreneurship perspective, that the Scrooge's behavior left Tiny Tim's dad in a position to consider entrepreneurship as an option. Entrepreneurship places you in a position to help. As an entrepreneur, I feel more powerful than I did when I was working for someone. So I challenge you to learn from the Scrooge that you can become an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, you can make sure that you don't run your operation like the Scrooge. You can learn what not to do. They say that you can always learn something from every experience, even if it's what not to do. And the third point is focus on joy. Focus on the joy, especially during this time. Like, I was in a conversation today, and this lady said, I'm already sick of it. I'm already sick of the holidays. I'm already, and I thought to myself, there was a young lady, and I was like, she's stressing because she feels like somehow that she's not going to be able to come through with the financial things or the money or what is needed or, what is required. But, she didn't. And just because she's not married and doesn't have any children doesn't mean that she doesn't have her own stresses during this time of year. So we have to realize that let's learn from the Scrooge to focus on the joy of the holiday, of your own personal joy. Focus on the true reason for this celebration. Focus on the joy of the holidays, not the stuff, not the Amazon deliveries, not that, not all of the parties that you may not get invited to and things like that. Don't do that. Or the things that you didn't accomplish this year. Let's talk about what you want to accomplish today. A fourth point is don't allow family to be an excuse for not taking care of your responsibilities. Now, I say this as an employer, but as an employer, sometimes you feel people that work at a corporation or work for a business feel that they are being punished because they have to work during the holidays. But you are the one that created your specific responsibilities. You are the one that applied for that specific job. You are the one that created those specific bills that you have. So you'll say, well, they're not allowing me to have any time to spend with my family. They're not allowing you to have any time. So the job that's paying you six figures is coming in between you and your family. Well, see how well things will go if you quit that job and spend more time sitting at home. So make sure that you don't use the holidays or your family or anything that's going on outside of your career, your finances, as an excuse. No excuses. You have responsibilities and you have to continue to stay focused on your responsibilities. And my fifth point is avoiding. Regina Hayes said, love my family, but that's right. Love that family, but everybody in the family has to know, I gotta do my work. You've got to do your work. We all have to do our work because you have those responsibilities. The only reason most of us are working is because you want to provide for your family. So you can't do it on that particular day. We'll do it another day. Talk to me about it because I'm going to tell you how much we need to appreciate everything that we have. Appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunities. Appreciate it all. Make it good. Bring the joy in there. A fifth one is avoid materialism, period. Avoid a focus on just more stuff. Most of us have enough stuff for a lifetime. Avoid buying more stuff for you, your kids, your wife, your husband, all of it. And the craziness is that if a person says that's enough stuff, I don't want any more stuff, then it's actually correlated to being a Scrooge. What is Scrooge like when a person says that they don't want more stuff? I find zero pleasure in buying for people who already have absolutely everything. I would rather buy for someone who needs it. That's where our resources should be going. Avoid materialism of just getting things just so that you can post a picture up on social media. And the sixth point is money just straight is not everything, right? Just knowing that. And then stop assuming that everyone that has money has everything. Like, people hate on people that have money because they think, oh, they have money. So because they have money, then they have the nice car, they have the big house. They don't deserve to have a call that says, hi, how you doing? Happy holidays. You don't have to because they didn't buy you something, you know? Money, if you truly believe that money isn't everything, then you need to make sure that you act that way. Because if money isn't everything, then you have no right to get mad about the lack of money that you might have or someone else might have, or all the money that they do have. You can overvalue the existence of the money just as well as you could undervalue. But I think there's more people that overvalue money and think that because a person has money, they have everything, and then you can just be mean to them because they have this, and you can straight hate on them because they're rich, because they have money. That is really sad, as if they don't have any feelings. And I think that this conversation really is not said enough, because we talk a lot about, I think it's easier to have compassion for a person who is poor, sitting on the corner with a sign, like, people easily. And it's even easier for people to have compassion for pets. Like, I remember I was a Girl Scout troop leader, and the other troop leaders kept wanting every year to do something for some animal group. And I was like, we need to start doing things for human beings. So I started talking to them about, that food deprivation and kids that are going to sleep hungry and how common that is and things like, and they were like, oh, that's weird. I mean, the face that you could just tell. But they're assuming that, it's just much easier to depersonalize everything. So you can focus on they have money, so they're bad, or I don't want to talk to them because they don't live in the right street or whatever. But lack of money and the ability to have money, you know what I mean, is just as bad of looking down on someone because they don't have it and looking down on someone because they do. So we have to stop assuming that anything, when it comes to financial, like money is not everything. And it goes for having a lot and for going for a little. And we have to just focus on the heart of everyone and each of us individually, and this thinking and just being more empathetic. So a seventh point is everyone should be generous. No matter what you have, no matter, you have something to give. And I think the more that you realize that you have a responsibility to be generous, you're instantly become wealthier, because your responsibility factor and your motivation will increase. Your work ethic will increase and double. Even if you don't work outside of the household, what you do, you will value, because like, say you're a stay-at-home mom. Now, I'm saying everyone should be generous. I mean, and I'm saying your generosity should start at home. So you're a stay-at-home mom. Everything that you do contributes to your family. And the more that you do of it, and the more that you give of yourself, the more you're helping the bottom line of how well your family does. The intelligence of your children, the production of your spouse, the income that comes into the household, all of that is focused. I was talking to a lady today, and she was saying how she was quitting her job and going home to help her husband be more productive in his business. What a powerful move. And 8th point, learn to say no. And the Scrooge said no, and you can learn that from him. He said no in points without any compassion. I want us to learn how to say no, knowing that you cannot say yes to everyone. I think because it's been beat into us, we're less likely to be like the Scrooge and say no to, when you have a whole lot, but you're more likely to be constantly taxing yourself on giving and giving and giving and giving way too much. We have to learn to say no and to focus your resources on where they need to be. Learn to give more than just money. Learn to say yes to, I will help you find a job. Say yes to, I will help you increase your job performance. Yes, I will help you organize your bills. Say yes to something different, but not to, I'm just taking the easy route and just making sure you satisfy this easy fix of just throwing money to someone. That's not always the answer. Remember, we were talking about that before in our poverty discussion. Building wealth requires more than just trying to give something away. So, because we want to help each other build wealth. So, and then a ninth point is the future is more important than your past. Your future is more important than your past. Now, the Scrooge went back and looked at the past and looked at the present, and those allowed him, to move forward. But he did the full investigation of these things. But the most important point to get there is that what really matters is how you're maximizing the present to create that future. Because our future life is what is based on what we do today. Today is the day that you're creating your future life, your current choices. And the 10th point is to discover what is haunting you, what is holding you back, what is disturbing your peace. It's time for us to take control of our financial situation. Regardless of all of the ghosts of the financial bankruptcies or bad decisions, divorces of your past, we have to make sure that we stop those things from disturbing your current peace, and be honest with yourself about what the present situation is, what present responsibilities that you have. As I said, we have no right to be victims. The victim of saying that, the father of Tiny Tim, a great employee, and Scrooge, you're so horrible because you would treat him like that. I say it's also horrible that you would allow yourself to be treated that way. If he had changed his behavior, there's no telling how his life would have changed. And out of the story, only the Scrooge becomes the better person. But how about Tiny Tim's dad becoming a stronger person, learning from the Scrooge that you can renew your life, you can become a better person. Hi, yes, I'm glad I did this time with you, but here, I want to do these things and I want to move my family forward. And me and my wife work great together, and we're going to do this business over here, because you don't know how to carry it. But I do feel that there's too many of us allowing ourselves to be victims and not taking full advantage of the talent that you have. Tiny Tim's dad didn't know how talented he was, how blessed he was, how he was the power behind the business of the Scrooge. So how about he take that 7th principle of Afroeconomics, and the exciting ending of the story be, thank you, Scrooge, for encouraging me, because that's how I started my firm. I was working for someone else at their investment firm, and I kept feeling like being in that environment was not allowing me to do all that I was put here to do. So it was like, thank you very much, but this is the last time that I'm going to be disrespected. And I'm going to take the sacrifice and create the environment that I deserve. Now that's a lesson from Scrooge, that you will have Scrooges all the way, all the time in your life. What you do with it, I can't depend on the Scrooge to change, but I can depend on my response to that Scrooge to be different. That's where my power is how I respond to what happens to me. So that's our major financial lesson from the Scrooge is Scrooge ain't going nowhere. You're the one that has to change. You have to change. He might change back. The book says he changed, became a greater person that day. I don't know, but I know one thing, I can control my behavior. I can make sure I create a better environment. I can make sure that I provide the inspiration for the next generation to know that you can make a better life for yourself, and it's up to you. Well, those are some financial lessons from the Scrooge. Happy holidays, everybody. Please, please, please make sure that you email me at jb@afroeconomics.com if you need me. I hope you enjoyed the financial lessons from the Scrooge. And next week, it'll be even more exciting. Check out the events calendar. Don't forget March 6th, 7th, and 8th at the Greater Richmond Convention Center. Block of rooms is connected to the hotel. So I'm gonna put the link up because some of you might need hotel information. So I'm gonna put that up there because we've got some discounted rooms, and they say that weekend is booking up. That's right. How you doing, Kojo? Good to see you. I think it's the first time Kojo has logged in. That's so good to see you. I love it. I know that you can relate to some of these Scrooge principles, being that your family is the first family that taught me about Kwanzaa. I remember 1,000 years ago when you talked about Kwanzaa, and thanks to you, I celebrate Kwanzaa every year now. So we're going to be talking about Kwanzaa too. That's Wednesday night after, or I don't know. It's going to be funny because the schedule kind of falls funny, but I definitely always talk about the principles of Kwanzaa and how they relate to our principles of Afro economics. So check it out. That's right. How you doing? Yes, indeed. Yes, you did have an impact. I appreciate you. And you have an impact on me and you as well, Mr. Anderson. Yes, indeed. I want the Andersons on my couples panel, the Hargroves on my couples panel, the Hayes on my couples panel, Miss Arundel, Dr. A, I need you to come and do some psychoanalysis on us. give us some of that Dr. A wisdom. Wednesday, make sure. How you doing? Ashe. Did I say that right? Mr. Jones. Good to see you. Ashe. Good job. I'm learning. You all have a great, great, great evening. And our members only meeting Friday morning. Don't forget it.